This is INCRadio DCEM 954, the voice of truth, the official radio station of the Church of Christ or Iglesianicristo.
With God's help, we become unstoppable. With God's help, everything is possible. All of the accomplishments are remarkable. Others can't hate, but they still can't stop it though. We move forward, never ever stumble. With God blessing us, we still stay humble. And through the struggle and all of the trouble, our work we redouble.
Good morning and welcome back to Unstoppable Purpose in Motion Season 2, where we're having real conversations, sharing real stories, and reminding ourselves that progress doesn't have to be perfect. It's all about being intentional. From these stories, we continue to inspire and grow together. So let's move with purpose. I'm your host for today, Jayster, and I have my panelists with me here.
Good morning. I'm Nidell, and we have
Good morning, everyone. I'm Marvin.
a new
Good
face.
morning. So we will go to our main discussion. So this morning, we're talking about something we don't really celebrate enough, which is like waiting. So not quitting, not giving up, not really losing the vision, but learning how to stay planted when progress feels invisible. Because, sometimes the most powerful growth doesn't happen when we're moving. It happens when we're still.
Mm-hmm.
So what emotions usually surface for you when life feels still?
I think the first emotion that comes to mind when life feels really still is the emotion and feeling of laziness.
Yeah, that makes sense.
You stole my answer because we are one.
That's true.
That is true.
Let me see if I could guess what second emotion she might say. Maybe sluggish? Kind of the same thing.
Yeah,
Ooh,
kind of the same
okay.
thing. Like,
Yeah.
because like whenever I feel like my life feels kind of still, I'm kind of jittery, like, because I want to do something. So I'm like, especially at work, whenever like work is kind of slow, I'm just like in my office chair. I'm just like, there's nothing to do, and I'm like twiddling my fingers, like moving my feet a lot, or sometimes I just like take a walk. So it's like I need to do something. I have that urge to do something.
I'm like the complete opposite, actually, of you, because if everything feels still, I just like, it's like the color gray. My life, if it were like portrayed in a third person point of view, it would just cut out all the colors.
Oh yeah,
And
yeah.
then I just get sleepy. So yeah, that's that. But I've been improving on it for sure. So
That's a good thing. So, like, have you ever mistaken like stillness for failure and then like shifted your perspective?
Yeah, I would absolutely say that I am actually still trying to change that mindset of stillness with failure because I feel like because of social media and I have so many successful friends.
Yeah.
I feel like if I'm not doing something, I feel like I'm just behind, like that having that stillness like we mentioned earlier. But I feel like what has shifted my perspective is like reminding myself that hey, not all of us are the same, and we all have our own journey. Everyone is
Exactly, yeah.
unique. God made us all very different. And if we were to all have that same exact journey, like I just feel like there's no way to learn. I don't know.
Yeah, I think like I think I get where you're getting at. Like you don't really build your character, kind of.
yeah, or
Everybody would be the same NPC, basically.
yeah,
right?
exactly.
yeah, I would like to add to that because I think before that was my perspective with stillness, and I would perceive it as failure. But ever since Nidell and I got married, we've actually been talking about it like here and there that it is kind of like a privilege in a way to have stillness. And I think stillness is the negative way of perceiving it, but you can turn it into treating it as consistency. Like sometimes a monotony could be good.
Yeah.
Because then you do kind of have that peace in your day-to-day life, because the complete polar opposite of stillness would be chaos.
Chaos, yeah.
Every single day. And I actually would prefer it
Yeah.
to be very monotonous.
Yeah,
in my
definitely.
opinion.
Yeah, definitely. So like how has stillness like sharpened you as a person in your character?
I think that Stillness definitely tests my patience.
Yeah.
It still does to this day in terms of the different like scenarios we can go through in life, but that's the biggest test I've had of my character when it comes to the stillness of different things. The stillness of traffic
Yeah.
during commutes, especially.
Hey, you've grown a lot. Like ever since I've met,
Yeah.
okay, ever since I met Marvin, I feel like he's grown a lot with like traffic.
Oh, yeah.
Because I don't know. I think it's just we're just happy that you're safe whenever like you arrived somewhere. Like okay, as long as you're safe.
Yeah, whenever we get to
we're
work,
good.
whenever we get home. Yeah.
And I think you're just used to it at this point.
Yeah, especially like it's all about just changing your perception of things and
Yeah.
just being more
Yeah.
grateful. Like in the past broadcasts we've had touching base on those types of topics. But how about you, Jaster?
For me, it sharpened my senses to be more patient instead of trying to push for that change. Like because sometimes I don't like to be still at times, like especially when I'm at work. But whenever I'm out of work, I like to be in that still kind of mood. But whenever I'm at work, I want to be proactive and like keep moving forward. I want to progress. But then sometimes, like the customer sometimes like causes you to stop, hold off, and then it makes you stand still for a long period of time. So it taught me to be a lot more patient. How about you, Nidell?
I would totally agree. It helped me to really make my gratefulness in my brain like stronger.
Yeah.
Because I do love change. I love change. I actually never have kept the same job location in more than a year. Fun fact.
That's true. Every year she's scoping out possibly a new school that she can work for.
Yeah.
Awesome.
And I don't know how my brain works in regards to that, but no matter if I truly love like the people that I work with, I don't know, I'm always itching for that sense, like that change of location for some reason. I think that's just a preference. But I'm actually trying to figure out if that's gonna be who I am in the future. I don't know. It's
Yeah.
interesting.
Yeah, it might just be the season that you're in, but
Maybe.
it's like folks I know that some of our loved ones love to like rearrange the furniture in their home,
Yeah.
like at least every half a month or even every month. So it could be applying to those types of folks too.
Yeah.
So, like, what habits or disciplines have you built while waiting?
I think having the habit while you're waiting to just breathe, I would say. I don't know. I think that's the best way to have it in the way that I like cope with the stillness, and then appreciating those pauses in our life. I think that's how I've been able to like apply that to my habit, just appreciating the stillness.
Yeah, I would have to agree with you as well, because there are times when, say, I'm hanging out with my friends in a very like wholesome setting, and sometimes I just sit back and I'm just like, if I keep craving for the next occasion, I'm always gonna look back at the current one that I'm in, and I'm always gonna be like, I wish I just wait. I wish I just soaked in everything that was happening at that moment, like what my friend was wearing that day, or how their hair looked that specific night, or how
It could even be
handsome
as
they
like
were.
it could be.
Or
Thank
is
you.
always-
It could even be as like simple as like when we're celebrating like a loved one's birthday. Like this
Yeah.
past Sunday, we celebrated the birthday of one of our dear sisters in Anne Arundel. Sometimes just appreciating the good weather and just sitting out there in their backyard, and then seeing all our friends and family playing volleyball.
Yeah.
And then I'm just sat there and I'm just watching them, and I'm like, this is nice.
Oh, this is nice. Yeah, it's a nice
Yeah,
seeing
that's
everybody
the type
here
of
together.
stillness
Yeah.
that I really like to incorporate.
And like breathe in kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
So like the stillness that I kind of had to grow up on was in my prior career. I was in the military, and we had this thing called hurry up and wait, which is
What's
kind of, it's called hurry up and wait. It's very contradictory to its saying, but basically we were always told to hurry up to get to the appointment. But when we get to our appointment, we had to wait an extended period of time to even get that appointment. So say if you had to like a doctor's appointment, or like our financials weren't straight, so we had to talk to like the finance people and stuff like that, or any kind of personal like stuff. We had to hurry up and wait. So we'd hurry to get to that appointment, but wait like over an hour just to get our appointment.
Oh,
So
that's
we had to
interesting.
like be patient with our time, kind of thing, even though we're early.
Yeah, I think what ties into that too, like now that you're bringing it up, I was reading an article, I think a couple weeks ago, where it's actually good for us both physically and mentally to slow things down. Because sometimes I've noticed that I rush to do things that I do have time for. Like, let me brush my teeth as fast as I can. Well, maybe not the best. Maybe not the
Wait
best
a minute.
example.
And brush my hair.
Yeah, or like yeah, like pack my lunch or whatever. But what if like you took your time to do those morning routines or night routines? Because then you're not always in that mode in your head of like rush, rush, rush. Maybe that could like have long-term benefits to, how we live.
Yeah, like actually, talk on that. Like, have you ever been to like a farmland, like comparing like a city life to like a country life? Have you ever like experienced that transition?
Yeah,
How slow it is?
I would say so if you don't mind me jumping in real quick, because we visited our family in the Philippines in the summer of 23, and life there in the province, that's where primarily my
Yeah.
family lives, and it's very nice, and that type of stillness is great. Like you wake up and you don't think about all of these appointments that you got to do or all these to-dos. It's you go to the market, figure out what your family is going to have for lunch and for dinner that day. And then you don't drive and like think about like, oh, I have to get gas for my car. You walk over to the market, or maybe you take a really relaxed tricycle over.
Yeah.
I don't know.
That
It's
sounds
just that type
nice.
of life. Yeah.
Yeah, it feels like life is a lot slower in those areas, like the country areas. That's why I liked whenever visited Philippines, because it's just like, oh man, so it feels like I have time to relax. My head is not like running or like sprinting to do something. I can just chill out.
Yeah. I agree. Did you have any like thing that you're thinking of too?
No, I was just like, yeah, that's really true. I've never actually, I don't have any memories of like going to province. I've been to province before in the Philippines, but I wish I could experience that as an adult, because like you said, everything just feels rushed. Like I've seen it on like social media when someone's like they're showing a visual of like what it looks like when you're brushing your teeth, like you said. You're like, oh wait.
Yeah, exactly. Like, why am I rushing?
Yeah.
But I brush my teeth like well. I just want to clear that up.
And he flosses.
Can you confirm? Can you confirm that he brushes his teeth well, Lindell?
But to help you out though, like you did mention that you haven't been to province, but like the life was feeling slow when we visited Hawaii
Oh
for
yeah,
our honeymoon. So that was really nice, I would say.
because you get to like take in the scenery and like the ocean and stuff like that, right?
Yeah, and I feel like there's just so much peace in that kind of setting too, instead of like the city life. And I think that's also a preference too.
Yeah, now that you mention it, it's really funny. One of the fitness instructors there that were a part of the resort, she guided Nidell and I to a part of the water, and it was just all about basking in the moment. So she would get pool noodles and then have us like in really relaxed positions where we're like this facing the sun. Well, we have sunscreen. We're not getting sunburned.
Okay.
It was just like relish in the Hawaiian air, and just take it in while you're here, because how often do we as individuals have vacations?
Yeah.
Pause.
Like a
Yeah.
pause in our lifetime, yeah. So like, how do you avoid comparison while you're like in that kind of slower period compared to everybody else who is continually moving forward? How do you stop yourself from comparing to them?
I love this question. Like the topic of comparison is something I'm really passionate about, because I know folks who compare themselves, and there's no productivity to that. And your feelings are valid when at times you might compare where you think you should be, but there are those different like metaphors or like analogies. Like someone could have graduated college, but they're still looking for a job all this time. While someone who never went to college was successful, became an entrepreneur, maybe started his or her own business right away. And,
Yeah.
things like that, like it just helps me think about like my journey. And then, what's the saying? I'm too busy watering my own grass to think about how yours is going. Something like that. So that's how I help myself. A comparison.
How about you, Adele?
That was a very great analogy. For me, I just take off my apps. Unfortunately, social media does has that effect on me. And sometimes, like, I do write in a journal to write down, like, what were my accomplishments, like having these conversations helps me
Yeah.
reflect my wins, because whenever we would talk about, like, oh, okay, what are your wins, and I'm like, I haven't thought about that, like,
Yeah.
ever. So I think discussions like this on INC Radio and having that just alone time, like with a book or something, and writing it down helps me to like not pay attention to what other people are doing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like you're more of like the go with the flow, Jace, or like, correct me if I'm wrong, but it seems like you don't really compare yourself to
Yeah,
others.
honestly, ever since I was like younger, my brothers like always said, like, "Hey, don't compare yourself to any others, or don't even compare it to us. We're just here to guide you to a better future," kind of thing. So I've never really like had like high expectations of myself comparing to other people. I always kept myself in a lower level, saying like, "Oh man, I'm just going through this troubled time. Let me just pray and get through it." So yeah, I'm always just go with the flow kind of thing. Yeah, you are correct in assuming that.
Yeah, that's true. Like, what's there to compare when we've been reminded even throughout this season that like God has His plans for us,
Exactly.
and that His timing is right.
Mm-hmm.
So, I don't know.
Exactly. So how can you turn a pause into a preparation to basically embetter yourself?
Wow, I think that's the toughest question you've shared for this broadcast. How do I turn a pause into
A preparation.
a preparation? The first thing that came to mind was just, like we're burnt out at the end of the day of a really long work day, for example. So maybe something as simple of a pause would be doing cleaning therapy in the evening. So then Nidell and I don't have to do all these chores during the weekend when we're really looking forward to performing our duties
Exactly, yeah.
in the church. So we have all of our energy and we're looking forward to it and we can put our all into it.
Yeah.
So that's the type of pause that we do.
I just reflected on what you just said about doing chores. I honestly, if I were to tell my younger self that doing chores was a joy, I'd be like, what?
Yeah, right? Yeah. I remember.
But being able to accomplish those things is not, it is a privilege to be able to think about what you want to eat the next day or what you want to wear. So yeah, that's what I just wanted to add.
Yeah, or even to like wash your clothes, because I remember back in the day when living in Philippines, we had to walk like a mile and a half or two just to wash our clothes.
Was it hand washing or?
Yeah, like hand washing on
Yeah.
like a rock with like yeah. So like just having the privilege of doing your chores at home like is such a big privilege. Yeah.
Okay, so
So looking back, what season are you grateful for when you once tried to rush?
what season are we grateful for when we
For-
once tried to rush?
Yeah.
Well, I would say when I graduated college, and then it took me over half a year. I would be rushing to get all of these applications out, and then I would be like ripping my hair out metaphorically with this stillness. I graduated. I think I have a decent GPA, and I think I can really put something out there professionally. And then instead of that, I should have just gone with the flow, because little did I know, the one place that I applied to in the East Coast would be where
Yeah.
this chapter of my life would be, where I would be so dead set on I need to have a job as soon as I get out of college or I'm a failure. God was having me prepare for myself as like a person and as an individual, so that I would come over here to this wonderful district, meet all of you,
And your
meet
better half.
my soon to be future wife, and then that was just it's
Yeah.
like the main thing that I thought about with that
I
question.
remember you told me how many applications you had
I think I
applied.
had over 80 along the West Coast.
Yes.
Oh, wow.
And you
Yeah.
only had like, was it one or two that?
I had around a handful of interviews on the West Coast, and then it would vary from how far I'd get with the rounds. But the one that just went seamlessly was the single application I had here in the state of Maryland, and I was just like, what is there in Maryland?
Yeah, what's Maryland?
Yeah,
Hey.
my whole life has just been Philippines and California.
Yeah.
So I'm like, what is that? How big is the state? What's the shape? 'Cause California's like,
Yeah, I didn't know the shape either when I moved here to Maryland.
yeah.
It
It's just
is
like,
an
wow,
interesting
you can like
shape.
drive 30 minutes and then you can cross a border that quick.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's just my story.
And that's really like you're truly emphasizing what we have been emphasizing this whole like time in INC radio is like rejection is redirection.
Direction, yeah.
Yeah, and I'm actually so grateful to God that you took that leap of faith, and you didn't just stay home and say, well, none of the great places that I applied for accepted me, so I'm just gonna stay home and sulk in my sadness. But you really showed your strength to just keep going and just go for it, because it's like huge. That was already a huge sign for you to go. So
Thanks. And like with this topic of rushing too, I know we all play the same sport of volleyball, and sometimes it's like that analogy. If you rush to get to the more difficult aspects of it before learning the fundamentals, you can apply that to anywhere in life.
Yeah.
Right? If you're trying to do these really difficult things, but you can't pass the volleyball,
Yeah.
for
the
example,
basics, yeah.
then you should take that time to be still and pause, even take that time. So just another random thing I thought about.
That's good. Yeah. That's a good analogy.
yeah, for me, the season that I'm most grateful for is when I was finishing up college, actually. That was around the time when I started doing or preparing for Faith Speaks, which is one of the church activities that we held to share stories of faith that have moved us and to hopefully inspire other people. And at the time, I was really struggling balancing school and like remembering my stories to tell everyone, because it's really nerve-wracking. There's so many people there I don't know, and I'm sharing something that's really like sensitive at the time and being vulnerable. But because I reached out to one of our ministers that was here, and he really said, he kept reminding me that, I know it's really difficult for you, but God is guiding you, and trust him in every step of the way, because there's always something that he's preparing for you. When something's really hard, you have to just keep going, because
Exactly. Yeah.
that shows that you're growing somewhere and you're going to get to a place that you never could have imagined. And little did I know, Marvin was sitting in the audience.
I know it is crazy to think that too, and like whenever you and Jaser bring these things up, it just brings up more thoughts. Where I heard lazy consistency is better than being a perfectionist.
Yeah.
Like instead of being like, wow, I broke my diet today, I'm gonna wait till next week to really get it all together. What if you had that lazy consistency and you were like, okay, well, I broke my diet today, but I'll just go back to, having that correctly tomorrow. Or I don't feel like going to the gym today, so I'm just going to go tomorrow. What if you just took 10 minutes to walk outside? Lazy
Yeah.
consistency over perfectionism could be something I incorporate moving forward too.
Yeah.
So one thing the season that I rushed, it was basically my career after the military. So like I was rushing to get a job basically. So it was like I've only stayed in a certain position for about a year and a half or 2 years to get as much knowledge as I needed to move up in life, because a lot of things happened in my life that I needed to get a better job. So like I've been working a lot of like small companies, and now like after so many years of working for those small companies, now I'm working for like a really big company, that like I feel like I'm really doing something fulfilling and like something that can like, help everyone in the world kind of thing.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
Love to hear those types
Yeah.
of growth, whether career or like in our faith too.
Exactly. Yeah. And like this career actually helped me get back into like the offices that I want to go back into.
Yeah.
Like being back in the choir. Like that's like the one thing I really missed.
Yeah.
So before we end, do you guys have any special shout outs that you want to give?
I guess I'll go first. I wanted to shout out all of you watching. Thank you for your continued support for our satellite studio. Shout out to my wife sitting next to me, and shout out to my family in Washington State. Love and miss you guys.
Yay. Thank you for joining us
What's your shout out?
from behind the TV. I want to give a shout out to my husband always for always supporting me and my family, the Ibar family, the Sabas family, my Now family. I love them so much. And our resident minister in Anne Arundel, Brother Alban Kiteriano, and his amazing wife. And thank you so much to our district ministers in Washington, DC, Mid-Atlantic. Thank you so much for supporting us and allowing to have amazing shows like this. So.
I would like to give a shout out to my friends and family in New Jersey and my wife who is directing us today.
Thank you.
Thank you.
But before we go, I'd like to extend our heartfelt thanks to our executive minister, Brother Eduardo Manalo, and our deputy executive minister, Brother Angelo Manalo. For their unstoppable support, we'd like to thank our INC Radio and Washington, D.C. family for supporting our broadcast, especially to Brother Sidney R. Santos, our district supervising minister, Brother Richard Soterio, our assistant district minister, Brother Audric Dulai, district CFO overseer, Brother Tyler Worthen, our district multimedia advisor, Brother Emmanuel Andaya, our executive producer, Brother Edwin Asibuke, our overseeing minister, Brother Wally Tarai, our station manager, our dedicated INC Radio Kuya here and in the Philippines. So, thank you for tuning in and spending part of your day with us. If you like today's show, please give us a thumbs up and hit the subscribe button so you never miss out on what's coming next. Catch us again next week right here on Unstoppable, Purpose in Motion, every Saturday at 10:30 a.m. Eastern Time. And remember, stay inspired, stay connected, and most of all, stay unstoppable.
Bye,
Thank you.
everyone.
Bye.
Have a great weekend.
Bye.
With God's help, we become unstoppable. With God's help, everything is possible. All of the accomplishments are remarkable. Others can't hate, but they still can't stop it though. We move forward, never ever stumble. With God blessing us, we still stay humble. And through the struggle and all of the trouble, our work we redouble.